markets are picking up to those good mornings that we've seen coming in the last couple of days as well. And obviously, positive cues from the global markets.
Absolutely. Markets are being very resilient. No doubt we got a strong handover from the US, but not as strong as our Indian markets are. We are seeing 1.5% up move coming in for the benchmark, almost 1.5% up move, 250 points uptick coming in for Nifty alone. If you look at the Nifty screen, it's only one stock that is trading marginally in the negative, and that is only Grasim. So 49 out of 50 Nifty stocks are actually surging in today's trading session. The top ones, the top movers on the Nifty at this juncture is Hero MotoCorp, IndusInd Bank, Tata Motors, Cipla, Hindalco. Basically, it's a mix of all the sectors that you're seeing actually on the Nifty that is seeing a strong up move. You have Nifty Bank that is moving in tandem with the benchmark indices, marginally outperforming 1.5% uptick coming in for the Nifty Bank. Let's take a look at what are the sectoral indices doing. And yes, needless to say that all the sectors are in the positive territory today, with the realty index that's seeing a very smart up move, 2% uptick coming in for realty index. Remember, yesterday the realty index fell, and that was the fifth straight consecutive session of losses coming in for the realty index. So there you go, you're seeing some sort of an uptick coming in for the realty index, 2% up move for the realty index. Auto index as well is seeing strong gains. IT index, that's the one that's seeing up move about 2%, along with metal index as well. And broader markets are outperforming the benchmark indices. Yesterday you saw them close in the negative territory. Today you have Midcap index that's trading higher by approximately 2%. Also you have the pharma index that's seeing good strength. This is the small cap index that's gaining about 1.5%. So very strong uptick coming in when it comes to the markets. All the sectors in the green. We are being as resilient as always. And talking about specific stocks, like I said, yes, you have the auto sector that is seeing a smart up move in today's trading session. IT names are seeing a smart up move. And there's one pack, Vinny, that continues to see a smart up move, and that is the cement counter. And not only the large cap cement names, you also have the mid cap cement names that are seeing a smart up move. So be it an India Cement, or be it JK Lakshmi, or even be it Dalmia Bharat, for the matter of fact, all of them were pretty strong in today's trading session. There you go, JK Lakshmi Cement up about 6% in trade.
Absolutely, and not only that, you know, in the last 1 month also, all these companies have seen what a good move coming in, Cheryl. Like JK Lakshmi Cement is, like we're seeing, Dalmia Bharat up more than 40%, JK Lakshmi 40%, India Cement 42%. Now, very good move has continued in this space, cement space, mid-cap cement space, especially buzzing. Now, you know, could this just be a factor coming in on the back of hope of further consolidation in the cement space, or, you know, hike in demand? What are the factors that are playing out for the cement companies? Let's go across to Mansi, who's joining in with us to give us some more details on that. Mansi, what's the buzz in these mid-cap cement space?
Cement definitely is a sector which is catching all eyes these days, be it the large cement players, all the mid-cap cement players. Today we are going to talk about the mid-cap cement buzzing trend. Of course, let's take a look at the performance, the price performance of mid-cap cement players in the last 1 month, and then we take a look at the triggers on why these companies are buzzing and what are the triggers behind this positivity. Stocks like India Cement, JK Lakshmi Cement, Nuvoco Vistas, Ramco Cement fall in the mid-cap cement category, and these stocks have increased from around 5% to 42%. Yes, India Cement has increased 42% just in 1 month. Stock like JK Lakshmi Cement has increased 40% in 1 month. Nuvoco Vistas almost a 35% increase in a month. This is a big increase which we see, and particularly mid-cap cement plays, not a large one. But these days there are a lot many news coming in. A big player entry into the cement space is growing and increasing conviction for the space. Taking a look at what are the triggers behind this buzzing trend in the mid-cap category. The first and foremost is the big player entry, which we have seen again a positive sentiment has developed after this news. At the same time, the price hike scenario is back. Post 5 months of price cut trend, we have again seen price hike scenario in the month of September, which is a bigger positive for cement sector. At the same time, the input cost pressure concerns are also healing. Fall in energy prices, international pet coke, domestic pet coke prices are declining, which is another positive for the cement pack. At the same time, according to Morgan Stanley, inorganic growth would relatively be positive for the industry. If we see particularly for mid-cap cement space, select companies have gained good capacity share, and at the same time, better demand prospects prospects led by the infra and housing sector is a constant positive which we see. Over the next 3 years, demand CAGR of approx 8% is expected for cement plays, and at the same time risk reward is going to turn favorable in the medium term is what the experts expect. Also, there is an anticipation that a consolidation is possible from here. Industry could see a further consolidation as big player entry might trigger consolidation for the cement industry. But all in all positive, and we see a lot many growth triggers, which is really making cement sector an interesting one.
Thank you so much for that, Mansi, for putting into context what exactly could be fueling this rally in the mid-cap cement space. We've seen the way at the pace that the large-cap cement players are actually moving, but it's not only limited to those players. There's also the mid-cap cement that is actually rallying along with the large-cap cement players. So let's put everything into context and let's see what the prospect is for these players going ahead. We have our experts today, Kunal Bothra as well as Rajesh Agarwal, joining us. A very good morning to you, Kunal, as well as Rajesh. Thank you so much for joining us on Buy Now Sell Now. Rajesh, over to you first. Hopes of consolidation, do you think that's the one that's fueling the rally in the mid-cap cement space? Also, no doubt, we've seen the price hikes actually come back for these cement counters. But what is exactly fueling the mid-cap cement names? And do you think that it's worth a stock or worth a sector to bet on right now?
Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Kunal. You said it right. This is a sector which is to bet on now because we have been witnessing a lot of activities in the recent past after that Adani deal on ACC and Ambuja. If you see, Ambuja has almost doubled, if not more than that, from 266 odd levels to 550, 60 levels. And that is happening as a trigger because a lot of people are trying to find value in mid-cap space where they think that ACC and Ambuja has gone out of their hands. And not to forget the kind of valuation these two companies are having. These are going to re-read the entire sector because people will start comparing smaller companies with the larger ones on PE basis or price to book value basis or capacity or EV by EBITDA. These parameters will be applied and they will start finding scope in the smaller ones. And as far as the industry is concerned, the demand is likely to go up after 2 years of lull because of various government programs, the various road projects which are coming out, focus on infrastructure, government's focus on infrastructure, price hike they have taken. And we should not forget that most of the companies have reduced their debts drastically in the recent past, and that's going to add to the margins. The capacity of almost all the companies either have been expanded or they are in their expansion phase. So these are going to help the companies in getting better valuation. And not to forget, many smaller names would be up for takeover or something like that. So maybe a phase of consolidation is going to come. As far as picks are concerned, we have our favorites in large cap, I would say either ACC or Ambuja. Even if after this kind of run-up, we think that a lot of juice is still left. But if somebody is looking apart from these two, I think Grasim would be the best choice because they are the holding company of Ultratech. Valuations are good. And in the mid-cap space, we would recommend going for Dalmia Bharat or Birla Corp. Both of them have got good capacity. They are going into expansion. They have reduced their debts. And they are both in a very good position. The numbers have been very good. So I think these two companies can be looked upon in the mid-cap space.
Okay, that's the view coming in from Rajesh. She's given picks both in the mid-cap as well as the large-cap space as well. But Kunal, Rajesh is giving a thumbs up. Are you giving a thumbs up to the cement space? You know, we have seen a good move coming in these mid-cap names. Like I was mentioning before, that run-up is already there. How much more upside, and is there one particular one which you're looking at in the mid-cap space?
Absolutely, Vinny. So I think the cement stocks overall, both large caps as well as mid caps, are on a winning spree. And I, for one, believe that there are many stocks which have now inched towards a breakout. Now, I've flagged off just one chart, which is India Cements, a stock which has done exceptionally well. The stock is perched at a major multi-year breakout. So this is a classical chart pattern on the quarterly time frame, indicates that how this recent last couple of months of price uptick has led the stock into a big breakout mode. on the short term as well as on the longer term time frame. So that generally indicates that this is now resulting into a mega trend for many of these cement stocks. So now you should not look at a time frame of 1 month, 1 week for these cement stocks. One has to have a time frame which has to be at least a couple of years, if not more, to try and get the maximum returns for many of these mid-cap cement names.
All right, so that's the view coming in from both of our experts. Consensus view, the fact that the time has come for the mid-cap cement space. Imagine even Kunal is actually talking about long-term when it comes to the mid-cap cement space. But yes, that's the buzz that is surrounding the mid-cap space and how does it look, mid-cap cement space that is. But on that note, we'll slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. But when we come back, we will be back with your queries, so don't go anywhere.
Co-powered by OLX Autos. Only OLX.
More, invest smartly and spend while getting the best bang for your buck.
From the perfect home to early retirement and everything in between.
Real estate, everyone knows, is an asset that Indians absolutely love, maybe even more than gold.
Join us every weekday at 5 p.m. on the ET Money Show. Investment made easy. Only on ET Now.
With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge.
See, Nikunj, you are a very seasoned market observer, and therefore you may hit the nail on the head.
I think you have always kept the focus on the retail investor, and I think it's again a very apt, very good question.
Nikunj, first of all, thank you so much. You are one person I've always enjoyed interacting throughout the last 15-20 years.
You know, the problem on coming on your channel is that you already know everything. I just heard your introduction. And what can anybody add to that?
Stock markets is a numbers game, and it sometimes does come across as one-dimensional. But what people don't see is that these numbers, when strung together, tell a story. There's no really black or white. It very much seems to be a work in progress of triumphs and mistakes, greed and fear. And I bring you that story behind the numbers in action.
The personal finance show that helps you achieve all your financial dreams.
This show gets you everything that you need to know about your money, how to earn more, invest smartly, and spend while getting the best bang for your buck.
From the perfect home to early retirement and everything in between.
Real estate, everyone knows, is an asset that Indians absolutely love, maybe even more than gold.
Join us every weekday at 5 p.m. on the ET Money Show. Investment made easy. Only on ET Now.
With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, and it is time for the viewers' queries. But before that, let me come across to you, Rajesh. And Rajesh, we've seen quite a lot of volatile moves in the markets. One day it's up, one day it's down. But in this particular market scenario, how can a retail investor protect itself from these sudden volatilities and moves in the markets? How can one protect their investments?
You said it right. There's a lot of volatility is going on. There is no consistency as such. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. And even in this scenario, when there is a lot of fear of a Fed rate hike, we have seen market going up, Nifty going up about 200 odd points. So these kind of scenario make the retail investor very fragile. I think they should stop looking at bad quality names, I would say, and they should not go for short-term trades. As we said, investors should be looking for medium to long-term horizon, not to punt at this point of time. Punting at this point of time would be very dangerous because today it's 200 points up and tomorrow it will again, maybe, I don't know, it can go below by 200 points. So it's better to take a long-term horizon, be in good quality names, and do not leverage, do not go for FNO if you are not in a better understanding of the product. So this is what I would say to the retail investor.
That's the word of advice coming in from Rajesh for retail investors. But then let's get started with all your stock related queries that you all want to know about. You all can send it to us on YouTube, our Twitter handle, or even on the WhatsApp number. So keep an eye out and send us. The WhatsApp number will be flashing shortly, so you can send it to us on that as well. But let's get started then. And the first query, Kunal, I'm going to start with you. Firstly, good morning to both of you, Rajesh as well as Kunal. And Kunal, I have this query coming in from Raghupati, and this one is on Alchem Labs. They have shares of Alchem Labs, 11 shares at 2656 rupees per share. Should they continue to hold this or book profits in this one for a medium-term outlook, short to medium term?
Well, yes, I think, good morning, Vinny, first of all. So I believe, yes, the stock should be held on to. I think it's doing pretty well. If I'm not wrong, today or yesterday, the stock has managed to cross above its 200-day moving average as well. So that's again an indication of a breakout for Alchem Labs. So I would suggest to hold on to the stock.
All right. right, this next one that I have is coming from Prem, and he's saying that he has 200 shares of Glenmark Life Sciences purchased at 436 rupees per share. He's saying he's ready to hold on to it for the next 10 years and above. But what's your opinion with regards to the drop in the market value? What's your take on this one, Rajesh? A spin-off coming in from the Glenmark Pharma side. You have Glenmark Life recently listed, but Prem wants to hold it for 10-year plus. Do you think it makes sense?
See, I think there is no point at this point of time recommending the stock for 10-year horizon because the numbers are not that good. It is recently listed, no background to check. So it's better to stick to larger names or known names when you are talking of 10 years horizon for a long-term investment. In pharma, I think there are a lot of good names like Cipla or a Divi's Lab or a Dr. Reddy, even Lupin or Ipca can be held for 10 years down the line, but not GLS, I would say.
Kunal, this next query we have is coming in for you. This is from Pramod from Kerala. They want your advice coming in on JK Tyres. They've bought 500 shares of JK Tyres at 116 rupees per share and Birlasoft at 340 rupees per share. Should they continue to hold this one or sell it? They've taken the advice coming in on BNSN only for these stocks.
Well, I would suggest to hold on to both of these names. I think JK Tyres, we were discussing this extensively sometime back as well. And I mentioned my bullish stance on the stock, expecting this to continue to march up higher. Now, from a short-term breakout, these stocks are getting into a bigger breakout for themselves on the slightly longer-term time frame. So I believe that both these stocks could be held on to.
All right, this next one is coming from Ramachandran V, and he has a few shares of Sona BLW at 526 rupees per share. He wants a fundamental view on this company for the next 3 to 4 years. Rajesh, a lot of our viewers of late have been actually asking about Sona BLW, and I'm sure even Vinny would be having a couple of them on WhatsApp as well. What's your view coming in on Sona BLW for the longer term? Do you think this is an auto-anchor company that you can bet on?
We have a buy on this for a longer term horizon. By longer term, I mean at least 18 to 24 months, if not higher. The company is one of the 10 largest companies across the world. They are a big play on EV. The numbers have not been that good of late, but we believe that going forward with the kind of order book and the kind of percentage, kind of share of EV in that order book is quite exciting. For a longer term horizon, we have a target of 600 plus in the next 1 year or so. But if maybe even more time is given, maybe some higher targets can come. But at least 600 targets in the next 1 year, 18 months is quite possible.
Rajesh, I have one query coming in for you. I don't know whether you track this. Do you have a view on Pondy Oxide? A viewer, Akash, has bought this at 1,244 rupees per share. What should they be doing with this?
Is this for me?
Yes, Rajesh, it's for you. Pondy Oxide.
First, good morning, Mini. Yes, one can carry on with the stock. It's a very low volume stock. It's a small cap company, but the numbers have been pretty good. The oxide reserves they have is going to add to the numbers. I think one can carry on with the stock, maybe with a target of 1,500 odd rupees in the next 2-3 quarters.
All right, this next one is coming from KR Balan. And Kunal, this one is for you. He wants to know whether it's a good, is it a good time to buy Sundaram Fasteners or Navin Fluorine or Deepak Nitrite? 6 to 12 months as a view.
I think all three of them are good enough, and all three of them are poised also at a slightly different juncture for themselves. For example, Sundaram Fasteners is in the tier 2 momentum zone for itself. So it's not that the stock is getting into a reversal mode, and it's not that the stock has already hit a lifetime high for itself. So that's why I believe that it's into the middle category out of the 3 stocks which you mentioned. Navin Fluorine, on the other hand, I think is the stock which is already at a life high for itself. 4,500 plus is where the stock is trading at, 4,770 to be precise. So I think that stock is done reasonably well. And Deepak Nitrite is a stock which is just showing signs of a recent breakout. So all 3 stocks have different kind of chart patterns for themselves, and that could probably make the basket also very attractive. So I would suggest to not just look at individual stocks over here, but if you can go with all 3 of the names, Deepak Nitrite, Navin Fluorine, as well as the third one which you mentioned, I believe that could probably be a good basket from the entire chemical space.
Rajesh, this next query is on Concord. We have Suresh from Bangalore who's bought 100 shares of Concord at 670 rupees per share. Should they continue to hold this or exit? And if they should exit, then at what price?
It's an ad from our side. If your funds allow, you can even add to your position. It's in a long-term good fundamental it has. With the recent policy announcement, I think even the prospects will be even brighter. It's one of the biggest logistic players with the NLP in place. I think these kind of stocks are going to give you good returns the next 12 to 18 months. Maybe 900,000 rupees is quite possible in the next 2 years or so, and not to forget the kind of land bank this company has. So definitely one should continue to hold. They have got some leeway on their lease agreements also. So one should definitely add to this stock, I would say.
I have a couple of queries, Kunal, for the IT sector in particular. So I have Padma who is asking whether it makes sense to invest in, she wants to buy either Wipro and Tech Mahindra for a period of 12 months. She's asking, does it make sense to do so? Gauri is asking, is it right time to invest in Infosys? Also, we have a couple of other queries coming in on the IT sector, whether now is the time that one can look at buying the IT space. What's your suggestion on this one?
Well, yes, I would suggest so that I think the risk reward at current levels for IT stocks is very attractive. Most of these IT stocks have hit a double low or a fresh low for themselves on a YTD basis. So I think looking at the charts, for example, for Infosys, the stock below the 1400 mark, Tech Mahindra around its 1050-60 levels, Wipro closer to that 400 levels, and so on and so forth for these mid caps as well as large cap IT names. I think now the risk reward is getting all the more lucrative. Now the only question is that whether there is a major turnaround which happens into the US markets from current levels, and if that happens, then most of the IT stocks, they could try and pick up some very good price action for themselves. But I believe it could just be a matter of time from current levels. So it's a matter of patience. If you're patient enough for holding these IT names for the next 3 months, 6 months plus kind of a time horizon, then I think it's a good time you should look to buy.
All right. So then Suresh is asking, because he's already invested in these IT companies like Infosys, Wipro and TCS. So now he's asking if it makes sense for him to sell these counters and rather invest in ITBs.
Well, it depends on what kind of stocks which you have from the IT pack, because the composition for the ITBs would be very similar to the large cap composition for these IT stocks. So it all depends on whether you would just want to not have too many stocks in your IT kitty, or whether you would want to just put bank on the ITBs. So it depends on the composition, but my view is positive for the IT stocks from here on. So whether you invest in this basket or that basket, that's completely your call.
Right, so that's the view coming in on the IT space, and I hope this advice from Kunal on the IT space will help all of them who have queries with regards to large cap IT or the mid cap IT space. But on that note, we slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. But when we come back, we will be back with your queries, so don't go anywhere and hang in there, experts.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge.
See, Nikunj, you're a very seasoned market observer, and therefore you may hit the nail on the head.
I think you have always kept the focus on the retail investor, and I think it's again a very apt, very good question.
Nikunj, first of all, thank you so much. You are one person I've always enjoyed interacting throughout last 15-20 years.
You know, the problem on coming on your channel is that you already know everything. I just heard your introduction. And what can anybody add to that?
Stock markets is a numbers game, and it sometimes does come across as one-dimensional. But what people don't see is that these numbers, when strung together, tell a story. There's no really black or white. It very much seems to be a work in progress of triumphs and mistakes, greed and fear. And I bring you that story behind the numbers in action.
The personal finance show that helps you achieve all your financial dreams.
This show gets you everything that you need to know about your money, how to earn more, invest smartly, and spend while getting the best bang for your buck.
From the perfect home to early retirement and everything in between.
Real estate, everyone knows, is an asset that Indians absolutely love, maybe even more than gold.
Join us every weekday at 5 p.m. on the ET Money Show. Investment made easy. Only on ET Now.
With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you asked, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge.
Welcome back, and you're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. Let's keep it going then with all your stock-related queries. Rajesh, coming to you, we have this query actually coming in from USA, Texas, and thank you so much for tuning in even at night on ET Now, BNSN. It's a pleasure, Ms. Ambika, for taking your query. And this one is on United Spirits and IDFC First Bank, Rajesh. She wants to know if she can buy this for a long-term period, like 10 to 20 years for her grandchildren, and should she look at buying it now, hold them, and how is the view on this one?
See, United Spirits, yes, it can be bought for long term. It's a consumption story. It would be there for 20 years down the line too. Brands are good. After the takeover of Diageo, things have started improving. I think this is a stock one can hold for 20 years. But as far as IDFC First Bank is concerned, I think it's not that kind of stock at this point of time where a long-term call can be taken. It would be better to select either SBI or a HDFC Bank or a Kotak for a 20 years period horizon and make a SIP for that kind of period. If you want to, if you don't want to buy in one lump sum, you can go for staggered buying every month some quantity in these two stocks for a longer term horizon.
Coming your way, Rajesh, this one's from Rajagopalan, and he wants to know what's the prospect for the power sector, and also if you could suggest at least two names for him for the longer term, say for about 2 to 3 years.
Power sector outlooks looks very good. They are going for capacity expansion. The things are changing from fossil fuels to renewables. There are a lot of changes happening. And if I have to suggest two names which going forward can give good returns in the next 2 years or time horizon, I would say first one would be Tata Power and the second one would be CESC. Valuations of both of them are very good, especially CESC is trading at a PE of less than 10. Prospects are very good. I think these two companies can be held for a medium to long-term portfolio.
Kunal, this next query we have is coming in on Natco Pharma. Chitra from Bangalore wants to know the short-term target for this one.
So I think the short-term charts for Natco Pharma are indicative of some sort of a momentum which has come by. The stock has confirmed a breakout today. There's been a gap up opening for the stock price, and I'm also anticipating that there was some positive news flow for Natco Pharma. So we could probably now expect that that 600 level is now a base for Natco Pharma, and if we expect that that base is not broken, say over the next 1 to 2 weeks, then the stock should gradually try and move up towards 700 mark. So 680, 700 could be a potential target range for Natco Pharma.
Okay, this one is coming your way, Rajesh. This one's from Mayank, and he's holding 500 shares of Maharashtra Scooters at a price of 4,000 rupees per share. He's saying the stock currently is near the all-time high today. He wants to know whether it makes sense and is it prudent for him to stay invested for the next 5 years, and if possible, add some more of this counter at this juncture.
Of course, yes. It's a buy. For 10 years, of course, you can hold on to the stock. This is a company which previously used to make Priya scooters that has been shut down. Now it's just as good as a holding company, holding shares of Bajaj Group of shares and some FDs and all. If you look at intrinsic value, it's still trading at a 50% discount to that. And if somebody believes that Bajaj Auto or the other Bajaj Group companies are going to do well, valuations are even going to go further up. It's a buy from our side.
Now this next query we have is from Siddharth from Bangalore. This one is on Mahindra CIE. They purchased it at 268 rupees and IIFL Finance at 345 rupees. What is your view coming in on these stocks? So
I think both these stocks are attractive. In fact, if I'm not wrong, that both these names, Mahindra CIE, for example, I think is perched at a multi-year breakout. I think on the monthly as well as on the quarterly charts, the stock on the line basis, I think is showing a potential breakout. So we'll have to wait out for possibly at the end of the month. So if the stock manages to confirm to trade at current levels or higher than this, then it could confirm a big breakout on the charts. And I think same would be the case for IIFL Finance as well. Stock is at 365 approximately at a multi-month, multi-quarter high for itself. So again, both these charts are very interesting. And given the fact that these stocks have recently given a multi-year breakout, makes the prospect over the medium to long term very attractive.
Okay. Rajesh, Nino is saying that he wants to know about Coromandel International. He's saying it is a part of his portfolio, his SIP portfolio. And he's saying that he's just started with this particular investment 4 months ago. He wants to know, is it prudent now to continue with this for the longer term? Does it make sense to have Coromandel International as part of his SIP portfolio?
Of course, one can hold. It belongs to the Murugappa Group. Management is very good. Clean balance sheet. They have done good expansion. Focus of the government on agriculture and fertilizers is another added point for longer term horizon. One can add to this stock. And if somebody wants to play safe, one can add EID Perry, which is a holding company for Coromandel International. And apart from holding Coromandel, EID has its own business of sugar that's doing very well. So if somebody wants to play safe, one can go for EID Perry. Otherwise, Coromandel is also a very good buy.
Kunal, this next query we have is coming in on L&T. Prashant is holding 66 shares of L&T they bought it at a price of 1,804 rupees. Could you give a target price coming in for this in the short to medium term, and if it reaches somewhere around 2,000, should they be looking at booking profits?
So 2,000 has been my target for L&T. I think I have voiced this earlier as well. So I think the stock made a high of 1994, 1995 just about last week or so, which means it's trying to get back into a bit of a resistance zone around this 2000 mark. So I think closer to 2000 level again for L&T could be a point where you can look to book out profits for the stock. And assumingly, if the stock comes back towards 1900 levels, that could be a point where you can look to reinitiate a buy on L&T. So I believe that this 100-point range is where the stock would probably trade into. 2000 is where you can book out short-term profits. 1900 is where you can look to buy them back again.
Okay. But they had a follow-up on this is that, if they do sell at 2000, then should they be looking to buy Tata Chemicals at that time then?
So it depends, I think, what could be the prospect of Tata Chemicals at that point of time. As of now, I think Tata Chemicals is more of a stock which you should buy and hold from a long-term play. And same with the case with L&T as well, if you're looking at it from a longer-term play. So both these charts are attractive. So my assumption is that since you're looking at it from a short-term play, short-term kind of a trading query, more of a multi-day, multi-week time frame, then I think look out for 2000 as a target for L&T.
Okay, this one is from Roy Dasha. This is for you, Kunal. A Tata Power call option at around 250. One lot is what he has. He's saying that he's currently at a loss. So he's wondering whether is there a possibility it could reach 250 by this month expiry?
Well, it's a tough one, I think, because you just have just a few odd days for the expiry. That's, I think, next week. And Tata Power is a stock which has found major resistance around this 250 mark. Last two attempts, the stock failed to cross over the 250 levels. So typically, during such kind of an expiry, we expect the stock to try and take resistance at that point and not close above it. So I believe 250 at best could be a point where Tata Power can expire up to, assuming the markets gain momentum from here on. But if you can roll it over to the next series, then I think the prospects open up quite well for Tata Power.
Rajesh, this next query we have is coming in from Mazumdar from Odisha, and they want to know they bought Varroc at 1000 shares at 496 rupees and on mobile 1000 shares at 178 rupees. Should they continue to hold this average sell? What is your view for long term on these two?
Both are hold at this point of time. On mobile is into the mobile services thing. They are doing very well. They give good dividends also. It's a hold. Even Varroc is a hold from our side for a target of maybe 420, 425 odd levels in the next 1 quarter or so.
Okay, Manohar wants to know about Vaibhav Global for a longer time frame. Do you think that this one is an advisable investment bet that one can take, Rajesh?
See, I don't think Vaibhav Global justifies for a long-term bet. At most, it can be a trading bet for a short-term horizon. Maybe 390, 400 odd levels might come, but that's purely a trading bet. For a longer-term horizon, I would say avoid. At least for investment, I would say avoid.
Okay. Kunal, the next query is on all cargo. Sudha wants to know, is it advisable to buy all cargo at the current market price?
Well, yes, the logistics stocks overall have been doing well. All cargo has corrected from 450 now to 400 levels. So the risk reward is also attractive at current levels. And potentially the stock should try and at least retest the previous highs, if not cross above it as well. So even if it's a short-term play, I would suggest that it's a good level to buy.
All right. We'll actually have to leave it at there because we have to cut across to the finance minister. So thank you so much, Kunal, as well as Rajesh, for joining us on the show. And also viewers, if you've not taken your queries today, please don't be disappointed. We'll be back tomorrow. But for now, let's hear out what exactly the finance minister has to say.
Amount which flows to their accounts through DBT. How many have kept a good, reasonable balance so that their credit scores go up and so on. But I also want to bring you this dimension whereby we say the inclusive nature of financial inclusion program of the government is very well established at various different levels. The levels which are being covered here are one at the presence-less layer. The person need not be present. His identity is established. He can definitely be recognized for what he is, that unique human being, unique individual for whom the service is being restored or service is being extended. So you find the presence-less layer level in which Aadhaar has served our cause. The next one is the paperless layer, which is enabled through, again, an Aadhaar, e-voice, e-KYC, e-sign, and also the digi-locker level. So you saw the presenceless layer, then you're seeing the paperless layer. The third layer is the cashless layer, which is the UPI, the APS, AEPS, and ABPS, which show that it is possible to lift it one more layer and make it paperless. In a way, not so much on the financial side, but also the Ayushman Bharat is also bringing a paperless, cashless way of dealing with individuals' health, where he doesn't have to have upfront money out of the pocket money to be spending on his health. So in health as well, as much as in finance, that one layer of cashless layer, which is the third layer from the bottom, which has brought in a revolution. And the final thing, which has happened as of September 2021, is the account aggregator framework, which has been brought in with a